Have it?
Mhm.
Just hang on, guys. First up, roll call.
Counselor Jibbery?
Here.
Mayor Levine?
Here.
Counselor Levine?
Here.
Counselor Thompson?
Here.
Counselor Morris is just gonna be a few minutes late.
All right, well, we pledge allegiance to flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And next up, consent agenda. Any discussion?
I had a couple things.
Okay.
Mayor. The travel request from Mike Plaisted. I think we need to update that. And I did mention to Beth that she needs to review these prior to submitting to the council. If he's going from North Nashwauk or wherever to Brooklyn Park, that's about 400 miles, which is $268. Hotel is fine per our travel policy. The meals that he is not getting would be dinner, because breakfast and lunch are served both days and breakfast on the last day. So he would have dinner probably Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and lunch on Thursday he'd be eligible for. So that should be changed as well. So it's $20 per dinner and $15 per lunch. So that needs to get adjusted on there. And his overtime would be probably like 4 hours to drive to the cities, and not 6. So this needs to get updated with the proper cost.
Okay.
So I guess we want to approve it contingent upon the changes and on that one. And then if you could submit a updated request by email to the council. Thank you.
Okay,
And make sure that he is aware of the policy for travel and what can be charged to the city on his receipts for reimbursement. I think there was some questionable items last time, so I want to make sure that he knows what he can submit.
very good. Any comment?
I'm good.
Okay, motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the changes noted.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, under appearances, Wayne, I guess you're up. So it's a little update.
Yeah, well, we rebuilt that sludge pump and it still won't pump nothing.
Yeah.
So we're at the point where something else has to be done to get any sludge out of that tank.
Yeah. Rock hard.
It's all, well, it's probably a lot of grit over years, 35 years it's been there.
Yeah.
And other than that, we got the pump and the M off, Eric got that done, and that's working fine. But this winter, when water use, remember we had all that problem with the water? I think a lot of it was that Imhoff tank leaks from the bottom. And when the ice froze, it still leaked up through the ice and went into the wet well in the old building. And then it went from there everywhere. So I'm thinking we might have to put like a sump pump in there this winter and run it off the wall or something. It's just gonna be clear water out of there, but we're gonna have to do something with that, or we're gonna have that same problem. It's gonna fill everything again all winter. Mm-hmm. And we started getting rid of the alum. That's you can't just dump 2,000 gallons down there. I don't think Nashwauk would like it.
So what's the next plan in the digester?
Probably drain the rest of the tanks again. Get that new pump done and pump out them tanks, and you wanna pump out them RBCs to look great. I don't know how you're ever gonna get rid of them anyway. It's gonna take a huge drain. Probably, I don't know. I don't even know where they would go. Where would you even get rid of them?
Are you gonna try a sucker truck on that digester or what?
Well, yeah, there's an access panel up on top. It's about 3 feet around. I talked to Eric. And he says he talked to Rapid Rooter and he thinks they can suck it out.
Alright.
But we might have to fire hose in a little bit and work with them.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't put them in the beds. I would probably haul it right to Grand Rapids and it's in the truck.
It's in the truck already.
Yeah, otherwise you're just more labor. And then last time I hauled anything to Rapids, which would have been probably 2.5 years ago, they charged like $18 per 1,000 gallons, which isn't bad if you get rid of that stuff. Because they'll take it, so that's probably our option there.
You won't know how much is in it until you take that cover off.
I'd say it's about half full. So I think it's 186,000 gallons, so I'd say somewhere around 90,000 gallons. Because we have the two parts in that digester. And usually you pump out of the bottom, it's right at the bottom. Well, we have a 1-inch water hose going in there, and don't even break it up. And we can't even pump out of the top. For a while, we were pumping out of the top one. No, that one's probably 15 feet higher, and it won't pump out of there either. We put all new packing in there. I don't know what you can do.
Rock hard, you can't pump it.
I've had the mixer going down there for like 10 days and it don't help either.
Nothing.
I had Michael add water from the bottom and nothing will even come out. So I don't know what to tell you on that.
Like we did the M-off tank that one time.
I
Was
just,
it from the top?
I just don't know if that Rapid Rooters personally is gonna be able to suck that.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna end up needing vacuum trucks. Like we had, remember? That
Yeah.
big 6-inch things that was like blowing all through there.
Well, who did them for us?
That company's long
Oh,
gone. They have them.
There's somebody around. I've seen them go up to mine, I think, every now and then.
That's, from Evelyn, what is it, Aqua?
Something like that.
What?
Aquapower.
Yeah, Aqua Power, yeah.
We'd have to contact them.
Mm-hmm. And then they would just haul it to Rapids.
So what's the option? Is it better to just go right to them or get a hold of Rapid Rooter first and see what they can do?
But we could try Rapid Rooter. I don't know what the difference in price is. You might want to get a bid from both of them. I don't know.
Okay. Is Eric gonna work on that or?
I
Are you gonna
can't
talk
talk
to?
for Eric. He's not here. I don't know. He talked to Rapid Rooter. I don't think he's talked to him.
Okay.
You can ask him.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Well, no, I was gonna ask about that class. You're gonna send Michael down there, and my license runs out December 1st. And I would like you guys to pay for the class for me. I'll pay for my own food, I'll pay for my way down there. We got a room, I can share a room with Michael.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't know if I even wanna renew my license. It's not
Right.
December 1st,
Well, it sounds like we really need it, so
you know.
When is that, Glenn?
we need it.
October
It's on-
18th, it's on your agenda,
On the agenda.
Tell
5.3.
her.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, there you go, thanks.
So it would just be for the class.
Right.
Like, you want to do, I'll drive down, I'll pay for my own dinner, I don't care about that.
Where's the class at?
Birthday party.
Probably if you want Northland in.
Well, and I would say, that it's obviously needed for you. I don't think you should have to pay for it, considering you're doing it as part of your job to the city. And I also would not be in favor of you paying for your own mileage and your own meals. Because it's not anything that you would be doing,
Right.
you wouldn't do it otherwise if you weren't doing this, correct?
Yeah, you're,
That's just my, that's just my.
I agree.
something to think about.
Yeah.
So we have to have a motion.
Yeah. we mentioned that. Something about that class with Mike.
So I'll make a motion to send, Wayne will be down to the class, for the wastewater and collection training, October 8th through the 10th in Brooklyn Park, at the cost of $1,594 for the class.
No, I think it's $590,
That's not,
Class.
no, that's it.
$595
Registration
or
fee is
$585.
$585.
Oh, okay.
And then like there's meals and mileage.
Okay, so for the registration fee of $585, and then are we agreeing to the mileage and all that? To include,
We can't vote on it. It's up to you.
okay, so, and then to include or go over with the mileage piece and then the meal, to be included. I think, anything that's related to it.
I mean, we need
And
to,
Right, you
Yeah.
gotta have it.
So the registration fee, the mileage, hotel lodging, meals, which I'm guessing, considering they're coming from around the same area, it's approximately gonna be the same amount, the $1,594.
No, because we'll share a room.
You'll share a room.
Yeah.
So adjust that cost then.
Mayor, can I speak with the attorney?
Yes.
Because they have to rescind from voting on this, do we need a motion to have a different counselor call for the vote?
Yeah, I would say it would just be someone who isn't, that's.
Okay. So you would have to make a motion.
I made a motion.
I'll second.
They're not voting.
Support.
Roll call?
Counselor Morris?
Yes.
Counselor Jerry?
Yes.
Counselor-
Abstain.
Counselor Levine?
Abstain.
Counselor Franzen?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
I do have a question on that. Why would Mike be going down when he doesn't even have his, to get hours when he doesn't even have his license?
He needs some training. You need training before you go down there to take a test. You should always have that first. This is like the collection systems training, and it'll help him a lot. So that when he does go and take his test, he'll know what's on it, and you won't flunk it, because if you just go down there, what do you study?
But how does he get to 16 hours then? Towards, it's for someone that has a license. For
It's
your
but it's also
continuing-
for new, yes. So if he gets it 16 hours, then when he gets his
He
license.
won't get that 16 hours if he doesn't have his license. It'll help as far as education. I
Yeah,
follow
I
you
don't think it
there.
will matter, now you bring it up. I'm not
You
sure.
understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I'm not sure, Susan, how that would work.
yeah. I understand the education part of it, that he would learn from it, but that 16 won't carry on when he does test.
Yeah, but then he'll have 3 years to go to a class.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The same as water. I
Yeah.
understand that. I did it. But
I don't know, you're probably right.
it's good to go, but I don't know if he would be able to use it towards his license. Mhm.
But it gives them something to study, because they'll give you a bunch of
Exactly.
stuff. and-
I understand that.
Is there someone we can ask that question to?
It doesn't really matter, Tanya, if he's gonna be getting schooling,
Yeah,
it's still gonna help him.
yeah,
But it says for licensed, and that's why I questioned it.
Yeah.
Because he isn't licensed.
I need the time,
To get your hours, right?
yes.
Okay.
So Dean, can I weigh in on this?
Yes.
So through speaking with Mackenzie from the MMPCA, and going through our situation, she recommends that we send him
Okay.
to class.
Okay.
I was doing my due diligence on spending city money. You know, we need him to go to get educated on this, and I think it's a good thing for Mike as a whole. And it's spending your funds wisely, as he's the one that we have designated to receive the certification. And no, he's the one that Mr. Levine is training. Okay.
that's all I have.
Okay, move on. Number 7, unfinished business. Update Eastern, I tasked the joint sewer board bylaws meeting with Andy Moore.
Yes, Mr. Lindsay told me he had a productive conversation with Mr. Borland today, actually. Mr. Borland said that the bylaws are currently going to be moving forward to the Nashwauk Council to see if they approve it. And then today, Mr. Lindsay wanted me to ask authority from the council for us to be able to draft a letter about issues that we currently have with Nashwauk as far as what we think they aren't following or complying with, so we can give that to Mr. Borland to give to the council.
I'll make a motion that Attorney Lindsay move forward in drafting a letter to National Council about the issues regarding the wastewater treatment.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
I,
Motion carried. Seven point two, adopts resolution for professional services agreement with AT Group. Discussion?
Mayor Levine, this has been on your agenda previously.
Yes.
We didn't take action on it so that additional questions could be answered. Counselor Thronson supplied a very, very good letter of questioning. She brought forth some really good points on it. Mr. Singer responded back to the best of his ability. I'll forward all that to you guys. Do you have any additional questions? Okay.
Fine with it.
That being said, would you like to take action? What is your preference?
For moving forward with it. Susan, what do you think on it?
I'm not, because the contract that we have with the union right now is they pay 10%. That contract is, we're gonna be adding $27, $26 to that. That's not what it says in the contract. Then you have your two retired, one on Cobra. Cobra, they really don't have a choice to say in it if we add this service charge for the AT group. But the retirees, that would come out of the city pocket, I would think. I mean, it's kind of a interesting situation, but that's how I see it. I'm not, in favor of it.
Okay. In reading the correspondence back and forth with Bill and yourself, Bill is aware that we are in a union contract at this time and that the union contract opens up next year. So there wouldn't be a charge for this year for him to take us on now. And he's stated several times in his correspondence that it doesn't affect the retirees.
Not the retirees, but it affects the ones with the Blue Cross Blue Shield in the second letter he sent.
Okay.
Because
they
that
retired?
would be someone in the city crew and the police department and then a Cobra. That does affect them because they're under the union plan. They're not under the retired plan like Mickey and myself. That's why it's different.
I'm not calling her.
Blue Cross Blue Shield, they're under Blue Cross or medical? Medical.
Yep.
Okay, so what I'm talking about is, Paul and the Durants. They're under that full medical plan, the same as
Okay.
you and everybody else.
But
The
they're retired.
retirees aren't.
They no longer work here is what I'm trying to say. There's the confusion.
So they're not an active employee.
There we go.
They're not active employees. This is only for active employees.
So then their plan stays the same? He said he had better, well, I'm not reading it the same as you, obviously. I'm reading it that they have better plans out there and Blue Cross Blue Shield, so he's gonna look for those plans and not charge us anything for it? I don't know why he would do that. That's all I'm saying.
We need him back here again.
Well, yeah, you can vote on it. I'm just not in favor of it.
It's the council's pleasure, whatever you.
We need him back here again. Answer these questions. We can- Better explanation on it.
Okay, if you'd like to take no action and direct me to contact him again, if that would.
What do you think?
I'm thinking we're kicking this can constantly down the road and I'm over it. Either we approve it or we don't. I don't, at this point, I'm over it. That's all I got to say. We've had this on here for what, 2 months now?
So I'm just gonna, I'll make a motion to adopt a resolution for a professional service agreement with AT Group. And then everybody that doesn't want to can do that.
I'll support it.
All in favor? All in favor?
All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
No,
Roll call, please. Counselor Morris?
Yes.
Counselor Jeffrey?
Yes.
Mayor Levine?
Yes.
Counselor Levine? Counselor Thompson?
no.
Thank you. Motion carried.
Motion carried. Okay, 7.3, update sewer plant punch list. I met down there with Alan and USA. The only thing I can see that they don't have done is the wiring on top of the fence. That's not done. I mentioned that to them, so they gotta work on that. Cement has been poured. Alan had a bunch of things on his, I don't remember what they were, that look all right. But Alan has a few things yet that they have to get done for him. So it's not done yet.
And Mayor Levine, he was out of the state for this meeting, but he will be attending your next meeting to go over all of that stuff.
So I guess we'll just wait till next meeting then.
So we still have some retainage left on there.
Yeah, I think so.
And then
And
are
then
we
also have,
going to be going to closed session regarding?
I should put that on that next meeting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for reminding me.
Okay.
do we need a motion to table this then for next week?
No action.
Motion.
Okay. Under new business, approved payment of the OM&R second quarter 2024 invoice for $144,258.36. Have a motion. Pay the bill.
I'll make a motion to pay the bill.
I'll support for some discussion. So this is through June. I didn't have a chance to look at the itemized bill, but Beth, did you look at it? And what did we actually get charged for May and June regarding the employee hours? Obviously, Jason was done May 1st, so did we have time and how, like what was where are we with that? Like, is the attorney going to address that in his letter? Or are we paying for 8 hours, or should we only be paying for 4? Or we should be paying for 2, or I guess that's kind of my question. I should have looked at the detail, but I didn't have a chance. So that's one thing. And then let's see here, training, insurance. So we're paying for half of that bill. And that obviously is for the building. It's $8,300. Did anybody look at the detail?
I haven't seen it, I don't know.
Yep, you all
It was
received it
emailed.
when you got it the first time. Then I emailed it back out again with my questions, which she answered all of them, including job descriptions. As far as your question on the hours, as far as a reduction, when it isn't itemized out that way.
Okay.
The time card is the time card. If the attorney chooses to ask those specific questions in the letter he drafts, I think it's really pertinent for the council to provide those to us so that we can get him the questions, the specific questions, and how we feel we are being billed regarding hours, time spent.
And I can follow up with Mr. Lindsay on that too, if you guys
Yes.
And he is our licensed operator.
Yes, from
The-
Jason. Jason is our, yep.
Jason is. Okay. And then
This
the
would also
only
go back to
other,
the first quarter as well.
oh, yeah.
Questions on
Mhm.
there.
Yeah. And then the only other question, so we've been putting the money in a separate account for this to make the bond or debt service payment? And that is being put in a savings, or we have it in checking
We have it in checking in a different fund.
in a different fund, and that's enough to cover the,
Correct.
and that's all I have.
So do we need a motion to pay the bill, but then do we need a motion to direct the attorney
Yeah,
for anything?
sorry. We can do one at a time.
Okay.
I already did the motion for,
Motion to support on the first one.
yep.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried.
Then I'll make a motion to direct the attorney to check on the hours at the wastewater plant and also the insurance that's listed on this invoice. It's probably in the detailed report, but
The detail was 241 hours.
241.
220 by Jason, 18 by Lance, and 3 by Brent.
Who was a new employee who they didn't run through the Eastern Sewer Board.
Hmm.
And the attorney is aware of that. That's one of our questions.
Yeah, we have others too. It's not only the hours, but other stuff that can have to be figured out, like
That's just regular hours, because then there's additional overtime hours. And holiday, so.
So you made the motion.
the legality of them giving us our line back. Okay, that has never been worked out yet.
Mm-hmm.
We've never, how many people are voting on this thing,
Mm-hmm.
how many are on the board. That stuff all has to be hashed out yet. According to Nashua, we got 4 votes. I mean, they got 2 votes. We just got some stuff today we're looking at, me and Beth. So. We need to get this all figured out once and for all so we can move on.
Maybe they need to have a separate meeting and not a letter. Maybe it just needs to be a meeting amongst the attorney and whoever's in charge of the board over there and
Well,
sit
then
down and,
Here's what happens at the meetings, we argue about it, or let Andy and him get together and we'll figure it out. Well, here we are, it's been 6 months like this, and we haven't
Mhm.
figured out nothing.
if not longer.
They just hope you forget about it, it goes away.
That's what it says.
Last year,
It's all in their favor, everything.
well, I guess maybe I'll amend my motion to just allow any counselors to submit questions to Beth or anything that needs to be discussed or put in the letter for the attorney to draft suggestions.
Do you have a second?
We have to do another one.
Do you have a second
I'll
on the motion?
second, I'll support.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Uh,
Aye. Motion carries. 8.2, approve O'Brien Reservoir change order 1 for the sum increase of $3,000 for a new total of $443,864. So this change order is for the pump that
Why
we,
is it?
that we put in.
Showing 8.2.
I have Breeze basketball.
I think you missed one. Oh, the last one. Yeah, that's okay. 8.2,
I have
approved
this
national.
up here.
That's from on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The one that you're referencing is not on our
No, we don't have it.
list.
It's on the, it's 5.4 in the consent agenda.
Okay, so we're going to take care of that.
I'm on
We must have the older one.
5.4. What's 5.4?
approve O'Brien
Is that
Reservoir,
your
yeah.
issues?
Yep.
We already did that. And what, 8.2?
8.2, approved Nashwauk. I'm sorry, you have them all done. You're just so efficient, Melody. You grab them right off the bat. You're an 8.2.
Okay. All right, 8.2, approve NK Youth Boys Basketball Team fundraiser road cleanup on entrances into Keewatin for a $300 donation.
So moved.
Support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Okay.
Aye, motion carries. 8.3, okay, I put this one on there. I took a ride around and looked at some of our recreational facilities last week. The basketball court down here has a basket that's, I don't know if it got hit or, does anybody know what happened to that? One of the backboards is busted in half, it's only got half a backboard, and the one behind the fire hall is leaning over like this. Somebody had hit it with something
They've been like that for some time.
for a while.
It's been for a while. I don't know, I can't put years on it, but it's been rough
Yeah.
for a while.
So we need to get those fixed. Flippy baseball field, the gate, been laying underground for, I don't know how long too. We got poles now, we got a bunch of poles donated to us from Minnesota Power. So we can redo it, it's not a big deal. And then C, I've been getting some, citizens that would like to do something with, dinosaur park at your house. So, we're gonna have a meeting here with Sarah coming up, I think.
Correct.
I'd like to maybe talk to her, where we can find some money for, like these jungle gyms we put all over everywhere else. Maybe we can take some of that older stuff down and put that up. That's all I had on that, so I'll be looking around for money too, I can talk to,
Go ahead. Sorry.
Masaba Metallics might be, interested in donating, maybe Keewatin. Kind of have a little committee or something together and see what we can do.
So what was your thoughts on the basketball court then? Do you want to fix them or do you want to take them
order
down or what
basketball.
is the plan?
It's just one backboard on
One backboard?
And maybe there's some nets that need to be put on, I'm not sure, but the one that's bent over, it needs to be either straightened out or a new one ordered or whatever, or something. I
Do they
didn't get a
need
chance to
painting,
look
or-
at it. And they need to be painted too, yeah. It needs to be gone through again. Just been left alone for too long.
And I think just from what my observations are, most of the kids play up on the basketball court at
Right.
school.
Mm.
So the older basketball court, which many of us played on, it's been not touched in years. And so I think even a larger discussion of that other we have two basketball courts essentially. So, just food for thought.
Are they both in bad shape or what?
No,
I
the one
guess I
by the
have-
school is in good shape because the
Yeah.
school is
Takes
taking
care of
care of that, but once the school is no longer,
Right.
that basketball court will likely still be there. I don't know what the
Has
plan is.
Has anybody heard what they're gonna do with their stuff up there? If they're moving it to Nashwauk?
Yeah,
I don't know what
so
they're
you just
gonna
might,
probably.
only
We
throw
don't
it out
know,
there just
we
because
might
we
get
want.
all that stuff too, yeah.
because no one plays on that old one anymore.
No.
They all go by the park.
Yeah.
And that's a whole lot that's just sitting there,
Mm-hmm.
so.
I guess we'll have to ask the school what their plans are on some of that stuff before we move on to the other stuff, or do we want to keep these parks, or what do we want to do? We're gonna have to make a decision, but we got to do something with them. We just can't leave them.
Right.
The broken equipment's gotta go regardless,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
probably pretty, it looks really bad and it's probably dangerous.
All right, we can maybe think about that one then.
All right.
Um,
Put that on,
I guess I'll make a motion to direct the street supervisor to repair the gate entrance pole at Peter Flippy Field. By the end of August 30th.
I'll support.
I was just waiting, making sure that was in.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Okay.
Motion carried. 8.4, appoint Counselor Gibbard to chair the annual children's Halloween party.
So moved.
Support. Fastest one.
All in favor?
Okay.
Aye. Motion carried. 8.5, update on central entrance sign damage. Counselor Franzen.
It's in the emails what had gone on up there. And I just asked Beth if I could have it put on there. Not just this, there were some other things I wanted to talk about as far as getting a group together to go and do some, cleaning up there and taking down the upright base that has the birch tree in it. And I would like to donate a tree and put up there. Now, I don't know if anyone else would be interested in that, but get some big oaks or maples or something like that. That would be nice in the fall. Like that's, away from the sign, but just kind of update. And I also would like the council to think about going with those tourism grants to get a table put up there. We had talked about it maybe a year ago, maybe it was earlier this spring. And maybe put extra stuff in there, like a tourism grant for EV plugins, anything like that. I don't know if we have anything going on any of that kind of stuff, but the grant cycle's open right now and that's why I'd like to utilize it. So I don't know how anyone feels about that, getting some people together to work like we did for the United Way, and the city paid for stuff to get painted and cleaned up, and when you've done your stuff, they've come and helped you, the city crew. That's what I'm talking about. But I still would get people together, but if you don't want to, that's fine too. I just thought I'd bring it up.
Do you plan on, because I would be happy to have you too, Susan, if you're planning on getting a group together. Because I think that you have talked about that for a while, and I think it would look very nice up there, to do that. So, however you want.
But then with the sign, it has bent a couple times and it's been put back. And as she said, she's gonna get a new sign and put it up there. So,
Is that no charge from them or?
yeah, it's no charge. In the email, it says that it had happened before and that I brought it up to her attention several times. If it's gonna be strong enough, she told me it should not be any problem up, and I said it's a very strong windy area. She said I put these same signs up in Bowabic at the ski, and I've never had a problem with them. I said, okay, you're the professional, and I let her go. No, it bent. She said she would replace it for no cost. There's no charge at all, because it's their fault. It was brought to their attention. Previously.
So on the grants, like for getting a table or picnic table or something, is that what you're looking
Well, I'd like to get a cement slab up there and cement picnic table.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something nice that no one can come and steal. It
So
would be
the-
nice to have one, like change that one up at the bike trail going on that end, put one up there also. and get rid of those wood ones, and I don't know, that's just my thoughts.
Is there,
To use the tourism grant.
the, grant in Nashwauk is open too, right?
At September 1st.
Mhm.
So, I mean, that's an option too. But I think you were talking about maybe doing that door at the community center.
Mhm.
Um,
So I can put those on the next agenda.
So I guess maybe I'll just jump in here now under department head because I'm listed for discussing this. Anyway, I went to the lunch and learn that was offered by Rams. And so Ida Rukabina was there and Whitney Ridlon, and they gave some pretty informative information on grants. Obviously, like Susan said, they're all open right now. The cultural and tourism grant is available. They have BRG grants is through AEOA for businesses, commercial rehabs, the DBR grant is available, public works grants, residential redevelopment, the Mineland reclamation. So maybe the Mineland reclamation, Mine View updates, O'Brien fish stocking, things like that. But the cultural tourism grant, I think, would be a good one, which I had talked to Beth a while back about updating that playground up there, the dinosaur playground. There was grants available through Playground Systems or some company that was offering a matching grant. So like 50-50. So if we could, work on that through IRRR and then possibly get something going for the playground. I'm thinking all that stuff is, I don't know about the slide, that might still be up to code, but I don't know. The monkey bars obviously aren't, and some of the swings, and I think we have to go ADA too, if, so, I don't know, just a thought. So I guess I'd like, if we could start working on getting some of these grants going. Also, where the basketball courts are, or down at the Peter Flippy Field, maybe looking at pickleball. It's a hot thing right now. Everyone's into that. And maybe the Mineland Rec Grant would be able to do some updates by the entrance there for tables and something. So I don't know. I guess.
So there has to be some sort of plan prior to applying, right? As
yeah.
far as what it's gonna be used for.
And Whitney said she would come to one of our council meetings and go over everything with us, so we have an idea of all these grants. Otherwise, you can look on their website too.
And
They're pretty explanatory on there.
I just think about where Sarah Carlin can fit into this equation.
Right. And so, yeah, maybe setting up a meeting with everybody.
Yeah,
And
cause I would, with all this, obviously, I'm always a big fan for getting stuff done and getting the grants and whatnot, but I would support to like kind of finishing up this entrance.
Yep.
Has been sitting, we still have the old sign up. Susan's been working on the new sign, put the flowers in, like, kind of just finish that part up. And it is a high traffic area. I mean, a lot of people are on that bike trail. So the picnic tables,
Yep.
all that, I think is a great idea. But that's just my thoughts, and maybe starting with Sarah, if she can help us kind of figure out, because I know she's asked before because she works with multiple communities and there's only so many funds available. That's so we're not taking any money away from somebody else that might have something already going. So,
And she just reached out to see when the mayor and I can meet with her.
Oh.
So she gave us dates.
On the Mineland Rec, reclamation, can we apply for some road material for that O'Brien? They do that parking lot there too.
it's more like, so say like a Mind View, she had said, I don't know, I don't have my book here, but you can check with them. So like the Mind View, but I'm thinking even if we did like, a canopy, like the canopy, it's the entrance or whatever for up by the trail, so you have a covered area too. right in the entrance there. I don't know.
Mm,
Those all good ideas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mayor Levine,
Yes.
do we need to appoint Counselor Thronson and Counselor Jivery to a front entrance committee, or what would you, like you do for the equipment committee and snow plowing? Is this another committee or?
Whatever Susan wants to do.
Okay.
I'm fine, whatever goes
So you
on.
can be appointed as the leader and we helper.
I just wanna get it done.
Yeah.
We need to get it done.
And is there any updates on that sign? I probably can't.
We can take it down the hills. We can take it
But
down the
it's got, it looks so bad. It's gotta come out.
Yeah, there was no lights on either last night,
Well, we could take that down.
so I don't
We
know
need
if
to
that
get-
light's
The
burnt
street department needs to get that.
I was on the park
gate
for a
trench
week when I was at
Oh.
the mail, so.
Okay.
And I went
Okay.
up there and plugged it in because Susan forgot to do it.
Oh, yeah, because the street light coming in to town and the light for the sign was not on. It was very dark. I'm like, I hadn't seen it like that, so. It was like 10:30.
Okay. Move on, 8.6, discuss city code section 92.42 and state law. Attorney Lindsay.
Yes, so city code 92.42 specifically applies to blight issues. So right now, under city code 92.42A, after all the proper notice is given to the property owners, the city has the right to abate the condition and cut the grass and then assess the property owner the cost. But then there also is the provision of 92.42B, which creates an unnecessary restriction. That provision says that the city official cannot enter the private property to cut the grass without permission of the property owner, which kind of defeats the purpose of the section A. So Mr. Lindsay said that we don't really need that provision and it creates the restriction. So he has been in contact with the chief, and he's gonna work with him closer on updating the ordinance and just making it easier to enforce blight issues.
There is an ordinance that says that you cannot have rubbish and it's in that area. It says 6 inches with the grass. I might even have it on my phone, but I don't recall exactly where it's at in the ordinance book. But it also says that it can be cut, you can go in, because you can't have this kind of mess around. It talks about rubbish on sidewalks that can only be on there for 24 hours. I don't see that in here, but I know it's in our code. So that would be another thing, and I will send it to Beth, or, and then you can talk to Brian about it.
Sure.
It might be helpful just for all of us to find that. I don't recall what it was at first, but I had been looking at that because there's so many places in town that have grass that's 3 feet tall. It's crazy. We've never had the grass like this in town ever before. It's always been cut and then it goes on to assessment to Itasca County. And that's why I was looking in the ordinance. It didn't make sense to me, but at least we're looking at it.
Okay. 8.7, approve MMUA meter and secondary power line training for public work utilities department. This is, all our employees get trained on pulling meters and being able to, hook up the line from the pole to the house. Supposedly, this is something that we have to do. In years past, we trained each other how to do it, but things are changing. So we gotta have training.
Well, I will make a motion if nobody has any discussion, to approve the training for the Public Work Utilities Department.
I'll support for discussion. So we're approving the training and who's attending?
Well, I think on the meters, everybody should be attending.
Okay, so
They'll be coming here probably to do it.
Not according to this, it's
Nope.
in Marshall.
Nope.
Oh,
So they are, because we're in our situation that we're in, they will come on site and do that for the same price that's in your packet.
okay,
And my understanding, the price doesn't change, so the entire department can have this training. And I reached out to the chief to see if you had anyone on the fire department that would need, maybe you're not going to pull meters, but do they need the knowledge of what's required of the street department when they come pull a meter for fire or something? The amount doesn't change for the city. They pay $4,200 regardless of how many people attend, is what I'm saying.
Do validate that this is gonna happen yet?
Not until after you guys approve it, then
Okay.
we'll call back and then he'll tell us when they can come.
so you don't have, we don't know when it is yet.
No, not yet.
Okay, and so then someone from MMUA will come here
Correct.
and they will charge
I thought it was 4,200.
okay, well, there's two different quotes in
There
here.
we
So this one is for,
That's the one. that-
okay.
Yep.
So it's the tree trimming and the meters.
Yep.
Okay, so they're gonna do both.
Yes.
Okay,
That's
on
what we
site.
need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's why I'm reading this quote. Didn't know there was two separate.
That's all they had.
Okay. But it'll get done soon, I hope.
Yes, he's aware of our situation.
Right away.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion, or you did, so I supported, sorry.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. 8.8, adopt resolution to apply for and accept funds for snack and school supply drive for police department.
Support.
Thank you.
So,
Any further discussion? All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Motion carried. 8.9, Boy Scout cabin ramp project, Attorney Lindsay.
Yes, so Mr. Lindsay, did tell me that currently the ramp is not compliant with the ADA. But under section 35.150A, subdivision 3, there's actually an exception that the city could apply for. So what it is that the city would have to show that modifying it to be compliant right now would put us under an undue burden financially. And to do that, they would have to memorialize it in writing. So put all your reasons and justification in writing. So Mr. Lindsay told me that if you guys wanted to use that exception, that you should make a motion to approve to put it in.
I have a question on this. So what is it says to modify the back entrance for the building in question soon.
Yeah, so Mr. Lindsay informed me that this was, the issue right now is referring to the front entrance of the building. And he said, so modifying that it's not within the budget right now to make those modifications, that would be the financial burden.
Okay.
He made it sound like there's a back entrance to the building, which would likely need modifications soon. So once they modify the back entrance, they can then make that compliant with the ADA, which would be more financially beneficial for the city.
I guess haven't looked back there. Is it a small, is there stairs
There's an
or,
old set of steps, I think, there too.
so that would have to be a ramp too?
Right.
So Scott Ostrander, did he send a sketch of what he wanted, what his intentions were to do? When we had approved him to do it? So if he had a sketch and it was approved and then it got changed, which I understand because AEOA was gonna do it, wouldn't that have been like a light bulb? Well, how come this one's different than that one when they had to be ADA compliant? I'm just kind of confused how it got botched up like that. Because Scott Ostrander was gonna do it, from what I understand. We have it in a minute.
Yeah.
So did he draw a diagram what he was gonna do? I don't know, because I didn't see it.
Nope.
He didn't draw a diagram?
No.
Okay. then that answers that question.
He
Because
did,
he would have
he
had a
did pro-
platform or something.
he did provide an estimate, which he spoke with the donor of the funds to do the thing. And then as time went on and the weather changed, he wasn't able to complete it in that time period. So then we were able to have the labor for free and just pay for the materials through AEOA.
And so when we looked it up, we would have had to add, we basically had to have added a switchback, because it has to be a 5 foot platform in there. So then we had SEH go and look at it. So Ally went and looked at it and said, actually, you'd have to bring it out to like 60 feet long.
Well, it was to the
order
police gazebo when I talked to Scott.
Yeah,
He had talked to me about it, and that's why I'm confused that, but if he didn't have a diagram.
so then we talked to, then I called the attorney, and so then the attorney said that, so when I talked to Mr. Lindsay, the attorney basically said that, because we were gifted money, that we could fall under this provision because it would put undue strain on the budget in order to make it ADA compliant. And then at any time when we decide, or if we ever decide to fix the back, at that point, we would have to make that compliant in order to fall into this, so. Right?
Yes.
Again, okay. So,
It's a quite big one.
it was, yeah, it was kind of a mess,
And
so.
then the date on here is wrong, it's the 13th.
Yeah, I
Okay.
saw that, so I can bring it back and update it, but this was just.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and like we said, we have to put those, reasons and justifications showing the burden in writing.
And we do what with this then? Do we post it there or?
So Mr. Lindsay said if you make the motion and approve it today, granted, fix the typos in this, the mayor would sign it, and then he said that you just keep this for your safekeeping.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve the memorialization of statement of undue burden regarding the Boy Scout cabin ramp and allow the mayor to sign.
I'll support.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. 8:10, discuss email sent to clerk from Minnesota Power.
We don't have the email in our packet. Do you have it?
That's what's on.
You have something to say on this, or?
I had emailed the council of the conversation with Minnesota Power. And I wanted to make sure that Minnesota Power is not alarmed that we cannot sustain our own utilities here. Each of you were emailed the,
Do you have copies? We don't have, I don't have email here.
yes, I do.
in my phone.
That was referencing the polling and years and such?
Yep.
Yeah. So I already read it.
Okay,
Thank you.
10 points for you for reading your emails from me.
I read all of them.
Thank you.
So I'll leave that, because I have a couple of questions about that in relation to the training contract. And I want you to know that this desk under here is leaking sap.
SAP?
It smells good, but it's under my legs.
Okay, so you're referring to this email? Right here.
Mhm.
So, okay, I have a question. If we're trained, how do we become untrained, is my question. If you've been trained, how are you no longer trained? What does that mean?
I don't understand.
I think it comes with their MMUA training that they have. Did you talk to him on this, or Eric, I'm talking about MMUA? They had a meeting last week or something like that, and something came up, but I don't know what was talked about. I really don't. I don't know who all went to the meeting, if it was, just our people. I know there was something up at the community center when I came through town, Nashrock was there, Coleraine was there.
Oh, their safety training.
Oh, safety
Yeah.
training.
Yep.
So I don't know if something happened at that safety training is what I'm saying. I truly don't know. But, like at the special meeting, he said that they were told aren't certified. If I remember it correctly, he said if they're not certified, they aren't supposed to be pulling meters. So that's why we went into getting them certified to pull meters. And if we didn't talk to him, I don't know how we can answer the questions that we're asking. I'm confused myself with the whole email.
Are you?
So, okay. So I believe the question was asked if you were trained, and it was stated on the job training, okay? How many other cities go through this? Obviously, we've been pulling meters in this town
Mhm.
for 100 years. Nashwauk, every city is doing it. All of a sudden, now we can't. So we can't do it because we're untrained. We became untrained to do it. And so we're not going to do it. So we're going to call MP to come in and pull meters every time someone doesn't pay their bill. Is this where I'm going with this? Until we get this training done. Correct?
So,
And according to that email, they're not comfortable with that.
Correct.
Right.
They don't have the ability to.
They don't have the ability. So then what do? Nothing, just until we get the training.
Well, and that's, I think this is the question is, you, go ahead, Tom.
So I'm asking the council, after reviewing the email, would you be in support of the mayor and myself contacting and setting up a meeting with the gentleman, the representative that the city has, to go over our situation here, that we are getting training and we have been pulling meters and we don't see that changing. The email is concerning in the fact that they were notified that we're no longer pulling our meters and they're going to have to come in here. And that's not the case. We're working on it. Everything's fine.
When was this sent? When did this, so first of all, why do we have an employee contacting MP and saying this stuff before
This was on August
we
9th.
had,
Yeah.
so was this
I don't know.
after our,
This was before your special
Meeting?
meeting.
so it was before. So how did this come about before we even had a meeting?
Because the power had gone out, he was sitting at my house having lunch. I know this for a fact. He was sitting at my house having lunch. He got an email, or Billy called him and said that whatever it's called, a leg is out or something down at the mobile home park. Something's going on. What's going on down there, Beth? Do you know? And that's where this phone call started. When he had to call Minnesota Power to come and fix the leg or whatever. Mickey, what is it called?
They had one line out.
Okay, one line out.
Fuse had blown, so they had one line out. You have 3 lines, they had one line out.
And I think it still
And the
isn't.
first day they missed it.
Oh.
And then the second day became fixed, I believe. But
I don't
I'm
know.
only going by what I was reading on my phone. So I'm not sure if they responded or not.
I think they came to town, but I'm not positive either.
MPNL did come to town, and then the property owner is responsible for a portion of it. So they're in the process of getting a contractor to take care of their end of it.
That's
But I
that's
think
what
the
read,
council is
yeah.
getting off track here. The purpose of this being on the agenda
Right.
is, do we need to arrange a meeting with MPNL to go over this? I mean, clearly they're alarmed when they're emailing me regarding something that, they were informed of. That's all. What is the council's pleasure? Would you just want me to tell Dave everything's fine, or do you actually want us to set up a meeting? He's offering to come here.
So,
If he's coming, then he needs to come to a council meeting and talk to the whole council, not,
Okay.
Right.
I'm in favor of that, but I do just have one last question I didn't get to ask. Just quickly, so this training, you're working on getting that set up.
Mhm.
My only thing is like how much we're doing all this work and then they say, well, the training's gonna be next week. So there's a lot of, if I'm understanding that, it's like run, and then all of a sudden you have all these meetings, and then the training happens, and then it's all good, it gets fixed. So I just the cautionary part of it, I think, I would agree, the whole council needs to hear, so I support that. I just, how much do you do if the training is gonna be next week, or, that's my only.
So I have another question. What are they doing in Nashwauk? Are they disconnecting, MPs disconnecting the meter themselves, correct?
No, they have
Are
that
they-
switch or something, don't they?
Yeah. They're not pulling the meter,
No.
right? They
I
are
don't think so.
disconnecting.
They have that
So,
remote, right?
so they can disconnect meters, so,
Some.
At the up.
Oh.
well, not the,
No.
I don't think it's a three-phase,
They're having somebody come in and do it.
for the three-phase power.
I'm not sure, I just heard they have, what did you tell us? I thought they had some guy that came in and do it, some electrical.
It is in their job descriptions, but they do it. When you look through your stuff, it's in their job description. But
Okay.
I can follow up and find out the exact.
But I think that was the key point when they came here to present the new meters to us, is that was,
They will be able to
they
do
would
it
be
from
the
remote.
ones disconnecting, not us.
Yeah, at a huge cost.
They're
I
not done with
think
that.
we could train them and they can disconnect their own meters.
Yeah.
It's been done for 100 years. I mean, I don't understand it, why it's a big deal now, but it is. So let's take care of it, let's get them trained, and then they can continue on doing it.
And then we will be updating the job descriptions to reflect this information as far
Right.
as tree trimming, meter pulling, water, all that stuff I think needs to get done too. So we're gonna have to look at that. So right now, I don't believe they're in there, in the general
I think
maintenance.
that one it is.
Is it in that one? I can't
Yeah, but
remember.
it says.
When we
What was
updated.
that?
It didn't say-
Contract by itself.
Oh, okay.
I thought it just said electrical.
I'll second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Motion carried. Okay, we have any committee reports.
Yes.
I don't have anything.
And, go over this zoning thing.
Mm-hmm. Commission liaison reports.
So. Randy, you wanna come up and let us know on the zoning thing?
Mayor,
No,
I got one thing to
Yes,
ask prior. So this is a variance request coming up here. Okay, this is a building permit application.
This.
They filled out the zone, the variance.
Permit system,
Okay,
this is the only permit the city uses, right?
there's a variance in there.
No, I know, but you said the building permit.
Yeah, I was just going through what I have. Okay.
I see.
So basically, and this is a question for the attorney. Per our ordinance, there has to be a public hearing and the notice has to be published 10 days prior to a meeting. Everybody within 300 feet of the variance that is requested needs to be mailed a letter stating what the variance is. Has that been done? Are you requesting that we approve a variance tonight?
I do this.
Okay, Susan.
Well, that's what he came in, yes, that's
Okay,
what, when
that's what
I
the
was at
plan
the
is?
board meeting, they wanted the variance to come to the council tonight
Okay.
to get approved, yes, that's what
Okay.
was said.
So basically, these are stats and statutes that are followed by pretty much every city. So right now, I don't feel the attorney can
Which one do
answer.
you have? Is that something with that?
Page, I don't know.
Well,
I don't believe these steps are followed, so obviously we can't approve it tonight. And regardless of the cost involved and it has to get done. It is a statute, I believe, especially the 300 feet of any boundaries. So, and then once the hearing is held, the council has 45 days to act upon it. Or you can act immediately if you wanted to, but you have up to 45 days to act.
So what's the next step? What's the next step in the process then?
Well, if they're requesting approval of this variance, the letters need to go out. And then we have to set a hearing, so. And it should be published in the paper at least once 10 days prior, and the letter should be handed out 10 days prior as well.
Does the letter come from the office?
Mhm. So that's just my thought. You're aware of those?
No, I didn't look at that.
Oh,
I didn't
okay,
see it.
okay. So that's, I just wanted to bring it up before you got into your explanation, but is that true?
That's under the amendments thing? That's on page
It's in the
12.
zoning code.
Yeah, well, under amendments.
Do you have it?
151.59.
Yep.
Where it starts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where it
Continue
starts.
on
Yeah, so
page
it's,
12.
item C, 1 and 2.
I guess I'm confused with, are we doing an amendment or a variance? It says, council may amend this chapter as purpose of the council by the planning commission or by petitioning a person for one property within the city ordinance following provisions. So I guess I'm.
So what is-
Amendment or?
Well, the application is for a variance, so,
And we're not amending this chapter.
Mhm.
At the beginning of the amendment,
It's just strictly variance.
yeah, we're not
I know what you're
changing
saying.
anything
It is.
in here.
right. But
I'm
when
just-
you request a variance, these are the steps that need to get followed
Right.
for a public hearing.
The variance part is on page 13.
Yeah.
Mayor,
Yes.
it is very confusing looking at the ordinance book and the zoning book. I called Counselor Thronson to ask her today. How have you handled this in the
On the
past?
last page is the variance.
What we did with the variance, like I had said, we had one in town that I was involved in. And they got approval from the neighbors, as he has done. And then it came to the council and the council approved it. They weren't amending anything, it was strictly a variance. And that's where I'm a bit confused too, is where the amendment.
Yeah, what is that amendment? What,
That, well, an amendment would be if you're maybe changing the permit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking, you're just asking to get approved for a variance. We're not asking to amend anything in the building thing.
It's on the
We're
last
at-
page under line item 3.
That's what I-
Variance
Okay.
provision following requirements met.
And that's what we had done previously, is just the council approved it or didn't approve it. And that was with
Yeah.
grievance.
And
Okay.
it looks like the city.
And the neighbors brought letters in, like this guy.
I can see if like the neighbors, like if somebody didn't approve it, and then there was an appeal, then they would appeal it.
mhm.
Then I can see us going down that rabbit hole of posting and things like that, but, as long as all the neighbors agree, which
They're
it
saying.
looks like it, I'm just going through it now, but it looks like they've done their due diligence in getting the neighbors to approve and whatnot. I don't see why we would have to post that for 10 days, but that's just my interpretation.
So then I just have one other question, which it's a lot of work that's already been done. So is the variance, just for my clarification, due to where the shed is at in relation to the house? It's so close, that's where this even got to here? Okay, so I understood that part correctly?
The only thing I'd like to add is the zoning board, our minutes got kind of, it's all been rushed on, in the motion, they wanted to make sure that we could put some literature in there that would allow the variance as long as the city ain't liable for any damages from snow plowing. So because they're plowing and snow falls off, it's the building, that the city wouldn't be liable if we give them that extra foot and 6 inches or whatever it was. So we tried
So-
to protect the city.
Can we do it, is what they were wondering, they wanted to talk to, the attorney.
So-
Can we-
There are-
Is it right on the alley there?
No, he's a foot over the 5 foot. He'd be, it says in there.
6 inches on one side and 18 inches
From
on
the
the
edge of the alley is. So he would be. It's the same pretty good drawing. So Eric went home,
So this is
measured,
what it was.
measured 8 feet from the center of the alley and then an extra 2 feet from the city right away. And then another 5 feet for the setback.
And then Eric came and put things or something, someone had pictures of it. I think that Gravel lady.
And he's a foot over the 5 foot mark on one side and 6 inches on the other. The building's at an angle to the alley. The lot. The garage.
So where does that get documented that the city's not responsible?
That's what we're asking.
Oh, okay.
They would like the city not to be responsible. They're gonna allow them to put the shed that close to the alley. People go past it so that they can't come back and say the snow rolled off and down.
So this is what he's putting?
And, I did speak with Mr. Costelli and
So,
if there's a waiver or whatever, he's cool.
this is that,
Sign
it's this
it off.
one, yeah.
He understands he's closer to the alley than whatever, he's in line with the rest of the garages in the alley. That's what the board wishes was, to protect the city from possible damage. So I don't know if the attorney can answer on that, or just sign a waiver, or if there's extra steps.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with that, but for sure, tomorrow I can check with.
Gotta be
Brian
written
Lindsay, and
up
I'm sure he would know.
Yeah.
And one other thing, Randy, that I had thought about, I don't know what kind of, and we hadn't discussed it and he doesn't have it in here, but those aluminum things he's got circling it, he has a tarp up there. How would he put a wood roof on those aluminum?
So,
I mean, what was his, it's not in anything, it wasn't in the building permit?
so he halted construction once he was told he needed a permit.
Right.
So he needs to cover his stuff, so he put a tarp over it, to cover
Okay,
his materials that are in there at the time being.
on that one
Once
side.
he finished, once he gets the permission to continue, it's gonna be all tin.
Oh, it's 10,
It's gonna be all tin,
okay.
and he is painting it to match the
I
garage.
remember you said that.
And right now, it's got an open door, he said, once they're available, he's gonna put like barn doors on it, so it's gonna be closed. It will have doors eventually, not a dark, probably this winter will just be open, like an open shed.
And they also say in the ordinances that you can't cause, or the variance for undue hardship. It's a very bad situation, the way it's set up back there, you can't, it's just not good. But the other thing that I'm very concerned about are the cinder blocks posts that he has for his
So in
frame.
that email, I said,
Mm-hmm,
he does have actual cinder blocks that you're talking about, with holes in them, with 3-foot stakes into the ground. Those deck blocks are just fillers,
okay.
so there's a big gaps below it, so use that for fillers. I sent pictures in that email.
Mhm. And I wasn't understanding that.
Yeah,
Okay.
so where he staked it to the ground, attached to the ground through regular cinder blocks,
Mhm.
and then those big deck blocks are just fillers.
Alright.
So can I just throw one more wrench in here for consideration, because I think everybody needs to know this. Because I don't know if you guys even are aware of it, but Glacier Park, with all of their abuse property up there, does extend beyond the alley. That line does go beyond that marker there. So it's not just a city thing. I think we should talk to the attorney about where that line is actually at. Because when we've had conversations in the past, that whole alley will be affected by that property line. So
That's,
And it's on the south side of the alley.
So everything out of whack.
yeah, so I just.
It is on the south side
I
of
just
the alley.
wanna share that because it's not as easy as, it's just not a city of Keewatin thing, although I appreciate it, but I just think we should
Right.
check.
We got
Because
the whole glacier.
that we would need to know where that's at.
Yeah.
Because my understanding before was that most of the people, if they wanted to, and they said, no, you can't be in that alley, most of the people that have houses on that alley wouldn't be able to access their garage if they decided to say no.
Yeah.
So just something to check on before you go further with it. Not to be the bearer of bad news.
Well, that was unknown
I would-
information that we
Yeah.
had.
So
Very good point.
how close is
So
that
Placer takes it back, they're taking it out.
to the,
If they could, I don't know where they're gonna push. it.
How
But we
close
still
is
have
that?
to know because we can't be making.
where is the,
You know,
border?
variance and
Like
making
Across the alley.
deal with them
on the
that
line
if
of
we
the
damage
property.
it, we're not responsible when we're not even on our own property.
Well,
It's going property, going
Glacier's
ours.
all the way right here.
Yeah,
And you can pull it on your GIS.
We
Oh.
should still have some
It's-
kind of.
it's- It's not on the north side, it's on the south side of the alley.
If you don't talk about it enough to think about it even, and so for you guys, that whole, as you're doing yours, because this is, not everybody all the time.
Anybody
We don't go,
Yeah.
that whole alley,
alley is in
you have a different consideration, maybe that's something that can be checked on.
Hmm.
So anyway, I guess,
Yeah, if it ain't our property,
I just would be
big
careful.
city property, we can't make.
Okay, well, then we'll have to put this on hold then,
Yeah.
until we find out what that is.
Maybe we need a GIS map and show the boundary, you know, where everything is for the next meeting.
Because then we probably have to go from their boundary too. I mean, so it's just questions that we should ask for people.
And have the attorney check on that and see.
Glad you brought it up now before we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of a sudden.
Did you
It's
wanna
not our
correct,
property.
did you wanna correct? those
Has
minutes?
he started this
Did
project?
you wanna have her change the minutes?
He started the
Yeah.
project
Oh, okay.
and he stopped,
Just
so he may have to move it.
Or wait till we figure out where Glacier's property line is.
Yep.
Thank you.
You have a question for Wayne? Do you have any idea what the school's gonna do with, their gym equipment that's up outside for the kids?
don't know yet.
Okay, and
Okay, we're kinda, we wanna buy new stuff,
Thank you.
but if we can't,
Up to the podium.
I can ask Monday again. They have a meeting Monday.
just,
But yeah, but I was told when I asked about it that we're not sure one way or the other. If we got the money to buy new stuff, we're gonna buy it. If we don't, we'll probably move that.
Okay.
That's the last I heard.
okay.
Otherwise, it's gonna be left there.
Yes, if we can afford to buy new, it'll be left there.
Is that the basketball court stuff too?
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I
I
gotta
know,
ask.
we need to know, because if we wanna spend money fixing ours up behind the, fire hall.
Isn't it like tar or whatever, concrete or the basket? They ain't gonna take that. I think they.
Right, I guess
Baskets,
probably
they can't.
don't.
leave
Otherwise,
that on
if they
basketball court, no.
Right, okay.
All
But
the other stuff that you can pull.
If- if they're leaving it, we could move it to the dinosaur park.
Yeah.
Part of it is big.
Yeah, it's big, but yeah,
If we're
we
gonna
could,
build, you know.
because if we're gonna
for
use that
housing
for
development,
property, we're gonna end up moving that anyway.
That's what we're wondering.
You've got the money to tear it down in the bank.
Right.
So, this one,
Right.
want to do this one first.
Yeah, so maybe that would be an option. We could,
Yes, Beth?
if you leave it or something. Very good.
Better hope me and Barb get elected or Keewatin will be on the back burner, trust me.
We're used to it.
He's campaigning.
Mayor Levine, as under department head reports, I recently learned that our Counselor Levine has been asked by the League of Minnesota Cities for an honor. And I'd like it if she could let the council know what that honor is, because I think it's very very important that she's on your council and she was just asked for this.
Thanks, Beth. Yes, I was contacted by the League of Minnesota Cities to be on a panel for new city clerks at their upcoming conference in September. They have one in St. Paul and they have one in Staples. So I will be going to the one in Staples. And my MCFOA has recommended me as well to the league. So I was contacted to be on a panel for new clerks to ask questions to us and help them out.
Awesome.
Congratulations on that accolade. Very good.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Can I go?
Yeah.
So we had pump testing on the engines. Our engine 2 did not pass pump testing. So he did replace a valve and that still didn't fix it. So I just got a quote for a tank to pump valve rebuild to the tune of like $3,287.46. So I just I'll try to get it out as soon as possible, but I don't know if we can just make a motion that he can come and do it so that we're up to standards and that engine 2 won't fail in the event that we need to use it. So, and I'm sorry, I didn't get this to you because I just got it, so. But
Do you
I know it's an emergency apparatus and it's a emergency fix, but still, I don't know if we need council approval or not, so.
Maybe should. Is there funds left over from the funds that came for the fire department in December of 2023? Help me.
Yep,
Public safety,
that was split between police and fire.
yeah, or COVID or.
There should be, I thought, didn't
Yeah.
you use like 11 or something out of that?
Could we use those
And
funds?
we have money, and we have money for repairs that we have set aside, you know. And we know it comes every year. I mean, we spent 16,000 on 2 engines one year, so that was what, 2 or 3 years ago. So the engines are 20 plus years old. Like, we just continue to keep putting money into them to keep them up to standards. But if the new guidelines come through that they want to pass, I'm not sure where we're gonna get the funds to do that. They're talking about wanting us to be DOT certified, all the trucks and things like that, so. It had been, they left it open for public comment for a long time. They actually opened it 3 times, but they're trying to pass new legislature in the legislature that would require all departments, regardless of whether you're volunteer or full-time, to meet these certain requirements, and they're just outside. The small town fire departments are not gonna be able to do it. Volunteer fire departments, there's no way, so.
So do you need a motion to approve this or?
I would, just to be on the safe side, and I'll forward you the quote, so.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to approve the repair of engine 2
By McQueen,
by McQueen. How much was it?
$3,287.46.
All support. Any further discussion?
Do we have to get 2 quotes on that though, because of the amount?
It's emergency fix, isn't it? I mean, you need it.
Yeah, they're not in the area, well, so Anthony comes from Evelyn, because he's hired by McQueen, but the closest would be Superior or the cities to get a second quote.
What's the exception for the rule? Attorney Lindsay's mentioned the exception for the rule before, what's the exception?
I'm
Getting
not
to-
sure, I would have to follow up with them.
We just had it.
Yeah, what was it? What did you say? There's a reason, I mean, there's a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
reason.
I think she's fine because it's.
Because
and
it's
we need
only
it for
like
engine
one
2.
vendor.
Cause
Yeah.
it was, yeah,
Able
I
to
was just
provide
trying to
the-
Can't remember what it
was.
But if it's an emergency, that's another story too.
Yeah,
So
So motion and seconded.
Yep, second. Any further discussion, all in favor?
I
Aye. Motion carried.
Roll call. Counselor Morris.
Abstain.
Okay. Counselor Jerry?
Yes.
Mayor Levine?
Yes.
Counselor Levine?
Yes.
Counselor Johnson?
Yes.
Thank you.
I just had one quick question. Tanya, what's the story on the ambulance meetings and all that? I haven't-
It's halted.
Oh,
I mean, so there's discussion that they want the county to take it over. And so it went to the commissioners.
Mm.
And so I believe the last I heard is that the commissioners are still trying to process what that would look like financially and how that would work. So,
And the information I received, I think that's happening tonight.
okay,
I
yeah,
think our
I
Casey,
knew it
I
was
invited
close.
Casey here to speak, but he had a prior engagement regarding that.
okay. Just one other note, it's budget season.
I'm excited.
We need to get working on that, so.
I'll be busy.
We have to have that finalized by the 30th, I believe, of September, so.
Okay.
September 30th. Okay.
I'll make a motion. Yeah.
Support.
We're adjourned.